There's been a lot of discussion that maybe building the factory in Germany was a bit of a mistake. Why didn't they build it in Eastern Europe or Southern Europe or somewhere where the wages are more reasonable? Tesla surely made a huge mistake with this one, but did they? I'm joined by Jan from Tesla Fix. We're going to discuss this. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. Jan, a pleasure. A pleasure, as always. Thank you for being here.
No, yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here in your studio.
Yeah, exactly.
With your lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Which, a viewer asked, are these like from a racetrack or something?
What?
No, they're from a river. Oh, well, the Amazon. Anyway.
Yeah.
They're from Amazon. So the question is, I'm going to ask you, why Germany? I mean, Poland is right there at the border. How far is Berlin from Poland? If Polish workers can come to Berlin, surely you could build the factory in Poland and take executives from Germany into Poland.
Yeah, you could do that.
Would they go?
I wouldn't say so.
A few might, but some might not.
Yeah, because that region between Germany and like the first stretch, yeah, it's not the main hub, the main cities. Warsaw is way further out, for example, and yeah, that's what I mean. It's very rural between that line. So, yeah.
But the wages are so much lower. Is surely Poland builds cars?
Why don't VW build in Poland near there? So there are reasons for that. I can tell you why.
Okay.
Have you heard that Germany is a hub for automotive engineering?
So I haven't heard that, but I believe it because, I mean, listing the brands so the population of Germany, not that big. The geographical landmass
around
of Germany,
80 million, yeah.
Around 80 million, and the geographical landmass is roughly equal to the state of Oregon. So 80 million people in the state of Oregon, and yet you've got Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi, BMW, Mercedes. How many more?
Yeah, the sub-brands.
And all the sub-brands.
Yeah,
I guess Bugatti.
Bugatti, Smart, Lexus. No, not Lexus,
Not
sorry.
Lexus.
I mean, no. Never mind. But
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Aston Martin.
A ton.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say is, if a new company like Tesla came to Germany and could manage to pick off 1% of the top people from other companies, those companies might not even notice, and yet Tesla would have an amazing team.
I can also go on.
Please.
Why? Because what's so interesting?
Wouldn't permits be easier in
of course.
Romania or
sure.
Turkey?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But also corruption is higher. That's also a problem in those Eastern European countries. That's how it is.
Yes.
Also in Hungary. Yeah. So, but still, they have something going for them. Especially Hungary, for example, has I think 9% income tax and 13% business tax, or how do you call it?
B&O tax probably, or just corporate tax.
Corporate tax, yeah, that's what I mean. So, but still, we have talent in Germany. Now you could ask the question, why not South Germany, but North Germany? So
that is actually, first, let's finish that first one. Is you're saying
engineers are here.
The engineers are here, but what you're saying, at one point I had made a spreadsheet trying to predict which factory would get, which country would get a factory next, and assigning scores. And one of the things I did mark countries well for was ease of getting permits, and I could just call that political will. But at the same time, I had to look at their corruption index.
Yeah.
And what I found was a lot of countries with strong political will also had high corruption. And that's great if you're going to get your permits fast-tracked or just waived. But if at every step you're having to bribe suppliers to get your goods through, it's not necessarily a good thing. So a lot of the manufacturers are in the south of Germany.
Yeah.
So why Berlin? Berlin doesn't really have a legacy of making cars unless you mean the Trabi. I don't know where those were made, but somewhere in the east. But why Berlin?
think about the south also is actually pretty dense if you look at it. And do you want to open up the factory in Wolfsburg, where VW is for over 80 or 90 years set, and everybody there almost works for VW. This could be easy to switch over. But do you think they will get easily permits in that region? I wouldn't say so, because limited space. VW would have expanded at some areas, and the same would go with Bavaria, with BMW. The same thing. They are already there, and they have a huge lobby arm there. They have huge control over the region in that sense, and I would say that's a danger for them to open up there. But they could, but limited space is my biggest concern there.
Sure. So I would give a counter example that is from a different country, but Rivian manufactures in the heart of Michigan. You know, they are in Normal, Illinois is where their headquarters is, or one of where their factory is. They've got an engineering center in Detroit, just outside of Detroit, and they are welcomed, but they are also, I don't know, perhaps less intimidating. And also, U.S. culture is different than German culture. I believe Tesla would be able to get their permits just fine. What I don't believe is that they would stand a chance in hell of getting them fast-tracked, where Berlin wants that. Can I ask you here's a theory I have. Tell me if it makes any sense. If you're an automotive engineer in Germany, and you don't want to live in the South, do you have any other options? There are people who I assume are from the Berlin area, or at least close enough that they would rather live there than in Bavaria or... Is that a possibility?
Yeah, absolutely. And Elon wanted to open up in Berlin. We are not talking about Berlin. We are talking about Grünheide.
Yeah.
So this is a different region.
The outskirts.
Yeah, it's a different. It's not Berlin actually.
Right.
So it's just next to Berlin.
Right.
But it's so close to Berlin that Elon wants to paint it as Berlin, but it isn't. So it's Grünheide. But still. Yeah.
Well, Giga, the Austin factory is in Del Valley, and
But
Fremont is not San Francisco.
Yeah. So what would be a possibility is actually to open it up near Leipzig or near Chemnitz, more to the east. But that's because there are also many people living there, and you could do the same thing there. I think they did it there strategically because the train line passes Berlin perfectly, and people from Berlin can work there by train. Or even from Eastern Europe, from Poland actually, there's also a good train line over there. So getting workers from Poland, Berlin, and Leipzig, and those could be could go there easily. That's what I would say to that. And it's also nearer, if you look at the map, to Hamburg as well. So shipping is also a thing. So strategically, it's a good placement there as well. So think about that as well for export.
Another thing about this particular site, let's say you've narrowed it down to the region, is this site was already approved for an auto factory from BMW. And it has its own rail rail spur into the property, which was immensely helpful when it came to bringing in those gigantic pieces of concrete for the assembly of the building. There are people who believe that the labor cost is just too high. Is the labor cost too high?
I would say it is high due to the fact that we have very strict labor laws that, of course, the workers have a lot of benefits there. So that's a very expensive system, but it's a fair system in that sense.
And it's a developed country.
Yeah. But the median income isn't actually as high as people think. So I would say it's around 35,000 euros a year.
Right.
Or 40,000, around that ballpark. So it isn't as high as you think, but still it's higher than Eastern Europe, of course.
Sure.
But still, Tesla, for example, let go of 300 temp workers. Temp workers are not paid the same as fixed factory workers that work at Tesla, and those have benefits like you cannot get rid of them easily. You cannot say, "Oh, you're out." You can get rid of temp workers. That's what you do, and that's a practice that we see at VW, at BMW. That's pretty normal because that's the gray area kind of in that system that they where they can press the price a little bit, at least. Yeah.
So it's, if we're looking for a new country in which to build the next factory, let's say they're moving full steam ahead. They've decided we're going to go ahead and build a factory and forget all the ones we've looked at. Forget even Mexico, forget India, forget all of those. Would you say that a country like Japan would be too expensive and just rule it out? Because I think my spreadsheet put Japan pretty high on the list, like real close to the top, second within the top 3, because they do have, again, a small population, but an amazing automotive industry. They do have all the know-how, all the suppliers. And yes, the wages are higher, but wages are such a small part of the car, of the finished product cost. Would that be a country that you think, what's your assessment? What do you think of that?
That would be good because it's also about quality control. That's a very huge one because if you look at the when cars being built in the US, sorry, but hey, it's not on par with China, Germany, or Japan. That's why Japanese cars are so successful in the US anyway. Even if they're built there, but what I mean is like this mentality of having this perfection inside of manufacturing is kind of unprecedented in Germany and in China, for example, as well, because Germany actually took a lot of know-how into China to manufacture there, and the Chinese surpassed them even in some point in quality control.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. And standardization, they learned so good over the years from the manufacturers.
There was a story where
expensive, but you get something for it. You get perfection and a good car out of it.
There was a story from the 90s when Lexus came to the U.S. And apparently some design chief, some executive at General Motors said, we want our Cadillac to be as good as that Lexus. Benchmark it. Tear it down and tell me, what does it cost to build that, for us to build that car? And they tore it apart and they came back and said, you can't.
Wow.
You can't. You just can't. The tolerances were too tight. They'd have the commercial with the marble rolling around through the panel gaps because the panel gaps were so universal. Anyway, so I hope that answers the questions. A lot of people have been, there's some lingering questions I always get. One is always, why Germany? It's so bureaucratic. Yes, but it's a trade-off. Another question I always get is, why the Cybertruck before the Compact? I've covered that. I love you guys. And I would show you the link to it, but I make too many videos. I got to make fewer videos, and I will do that once I can afford to slow down.
One thing I have to add here, last thing, is that Germany has a lot of suppliers here. That's a big one. We cannot slip this because the suppliers are here. We have a lot of hidden champions here. A lot of hidden champions. That's a term that we have here in our economic system, that are family-owned businesses that are super small but are world leaders in their niche. And we have a lot of those. And those sit here and, so those things are very important. And that's why they are here. The suppliers are here. It's a perfect hub for that. Yeah.
So, I you know what? I will say this. If you're not excited, tune out because this video is going to go a little bit longer because we've got the final installment in our cultural exchange.
The cultural exchange. Well, it's not even. I never gave you anything.
You have in the past. You have in the
something.
past. This is just a gift for you.
Oh, that's
you
so
may
cool.
open it. You may not open it. You may do whatever.
I won't. I would
That's
let it.
unfortunate because it doesn't have the clear. I mean, for all you know, I could have already emptied it.
It's a mini Matchbox car because I like the Matchbox box because we just have Hot Wheels here. So this is the small car that I got. A little bit ASMR for you guys.
It's the Roadster, and then I've got for you 2 treats. This first one,
nice. Thank you very much.
Yes,
the Roadster.
A real.
Can you even see it?
It may have been a little bonked up in my suitcase.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah,
Yeah. Crack it open. It is, if you love pastries, I'm so sorry.
You got a toaster with you as well?
I do not. And I even thought about that. And I was like, well, you can eat them untoasted.
Really?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And there are people who do. Boy, those did get a little bonked in the suitcase, but just break a piece off one of them. Because that's a two. That's two.
No. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good. So, this one is a Pop-Tart.
Mm-hmm.
And it smells so damn it smells like strawberry on crack. And chemicals.
Oh, yeah. It smells
A
like
very distinct chemically taste.
like strawberry jam, but so
On crack.
effervescent that it's like someone whipped it in a blender.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about that.
They're not even that good. I'm surprised. Whoa. Okay, toasted. No, but still. Actually, I know Pop-Tarts, even toasted, and they taste just horrible. Just go to the bakery and get something else. There's the thing that they are trying to simulate. You could get fresh at a bakery, and it wouldn't even cost more for us, at least.
What's funny is I considered getting the unfrosted ones. So it's just like a dry, disappointing pocket of jelly.
No, that.
Now, this one we coordinated
Yeah.
because I have a theory that Oreos are different in the U.S. than they are. I know they're different in Asia. They're sweeter. So let's trade Oreos.
So those are German Oreos that I have here.
And
Now we have the cultural exchange. It's almost like Thanksgiving when the pilgrims and the Native Americans sat down and ate turkey or something. I don't know how that worked.
the natives were kind enough to offer them food of different kinds, and the settlers gave them smallpox. So
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
you weren't sure.
So that's a normal Oreo. Can I on camera exchange?
Here, you go. grab it.
Yeah, okay, no, I get it.
Okay, they look very similar, but not the same.
So these are the American ones. I don't have to, not allowed to mix them up.
Do you see what I mean?
They have a different coloring,
different color,
a little
different
bit.
texture, slightly different size.
The American ones are more
they're darker.
dark
Yeah.
and more oily. No, but a little bit more shiny. Let's say it like this.
Okay, I guess I'll try the American one first.
Me too. Okay.
Can't tell. Can't tell.
Hard to tell. They're similar, but kind of.
I feel like this is less bitter. That's some Pop-Tart. It's a palate cleanser.
Okay. Yeah, you can't really tell.
I can't tell.
So,
The European one tastes exactly like I would expect it to.
but I kind of like the American one a little bit better somehow. But they are very similar. I would say they have a distinct, small, little, different taste in the end, kind of.
The other day, we did Doritos Cool Ranch. And then yesterday,
Who knows?
Jan's wife said, she was like, looking around. I said, there's Doritos. You should try them. She's like, ooh, is it spicy? We're like, no. She's like, ooh. She started dancing because it says right on the package that it's bold, but we had no idea.
Yeah, but it was so well.
And
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and she enjoyed it. It's Cool Ranch. What's not to like?
Yeah.
Okay, I can think of a few things. So, you guys, we made it. We made it. This is the last studio session for me here on my channel. And then we will be, from now on, you're going to be seeing a whole bunch of footage from the event in Austria. Hopefully. unless something terrible happens. And if it did, I just jinxed myself. Stay tuned, stay juicy. I can't wait to hear from you, clever robots, on Jan's channel, where he will be having me as a guest, fairly regularly, but certainly a few more times before this experience ends.
And now I'm finished with my cookie because I didn't want to chew into the mic while you talk. Thank you very much, Brian. I enjoyed it very much. And thanks.
Yeah.
See you soon.